Welcome everybody to Uplifter Program, the podcast that is designed to uplift you from any situation that you're in, whether it's personally, relationship-wise, financially, entrepreneurship-wise, and business-wise. And today we have a very, very special guest. Name is Amanda Barr, my better half. And I'm super excited to have my first show with Uplifters podcast with Amanda, my better half. So Amanda, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. And it's such an honor. I mean, you are my better half, I always say. And to be able to be on this, my heart and my intention is that we get to help other people uplift. And I'm excited for today.
Awesome. And that's exactly why I wanted you to be the first one on the show. And I'm going to jump right into it. You know, this is a very authentic conversation. Yeah. There's no holding bars here. Really honest discussion. So, you know, you are one of those people that are very, very special. You uplift me in a lot of situations. You're definitely an inspiration for me. You're someone that really empowers me and gives me the courage to continue every day. And you have a situation, a medical condition that it's, you know, if it's not treated properly, it's a chronic illness, right? If it's not managed well, you wouldn't survive for long. Yeah. And so why don't you share with the audience and to share with us what that entails and what goes through your mind every day to make sure that you're staying positive and you're staying uplifted and you make sure that you stay healthy and strong.
Thank you. Thank you for asking that question. In regards to my life, I am a type 1 diabetic and have been ever since I was a little kid. I was at the age of 2 when I was diagnosed. So actually, I don't know any different. So I think when you think about life and what do I remember, a lot of the memories actually, they come up, don't entail diabetes. And it's just because it's about living life and doing everything you can. And yes, it's every day. It keeps you very present to responsibility. What are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you doing? And yes, you have those moments that you got to take care of it, and that's part of life. But in the big scheme of things, it's really about what are we doing and what am I doing and how can I help others? I have a service dog, thanks to you, a service dog named Sugar, and a book called Battling Blood Sugars One Sniff at a Time, and telling our story of what it's like to be a type 1 and that we are chosen, I like to call the chosen ones, to go through this life and be an inspiration to be sweet in life. So my little tagline is, you know, how can we be sweeter in life?
Yeah. And so one of those incredible things are that you are looking at those things, right? And you making something positive out of it, right? You and I have grown in families that, you know, things may not have been perfect, right? I grew up in a broken home. You grew up with 2 families, right? Your mom and dad got divorced and they remarried. And one of the things that you said to me before, right, I have 2 sets of amazing parents, right? And a lot of people might look at that and say, oh, you know, my family got divorced, you know, poor me. I grew up in a mobile home. I never had, you know, I haven't had home that I could call home outside of like, you know, driving around all over the place, you know, when you were young. So tell us a little bit about that and what goes through your mindset when you say stuff like that. And I know you really live it, right? It's real for you, where you say you have 2 sets of incredible parents. And so tell us, you know, what's that psyche behind it? And, you know, how do you stay uplifted and positive? And what are the choices that goes into that?
Yeah. You know, growing up and of course you have this idea of what a family really looks like, but I think those expectations are probably the parts that make any situation either great or not so great. And I decided when I was young, and I had my mom and my stepdad, and of course, you know, I wanted to see my dad. And when he got married, it was just a really special time for me because I knew he was happy, and I knew my mom was happy, and I knew they were happy, and I was happy because when everybody found their one, and you could see the families were so great, and it was something that I always wanted them to be happy, I think. And I think that's one thing you don't really think about as a kid, maybe sometimes growing up. It's more inward looking, like, am I happy? And at that time, of course, I had those days where I was sad, but overall, when I look back, I was like, man, I have four amazing parents. How many people get so blessed with four amazing parents? I mean, of course you have two, and that's incredible, but to have four, I just felt extra blessed. And yeah, we had crazy times where I would spend a summer with my dad and travel all over the United States, and those memories are memories I will never want to change. I'm forever thankful for childhood and growing up the way I did, because it taught me a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. So let's fast forward a little bit into your professional life. So you have done things very different than I did, right? You went in a very linear way. You got your school, you got your education, despite all of the challenges. You really pulled yourself up and made sure that you stayed the course, and you were a valedictorian in high school, and you were a very good student in college, and you got your degrees. And then you pursued an educational route, and you wanted to be a teacher to inspire other kids. And then now you are an entrepreneur, and you're running a company, and you helped me run my company. So tell us a little bit about that journey, the challenges that journey entailed, and then what are you doing on a regular basis to overcome those challenges and really shift your mindset and uplift yourself to a better place than you started?
Yeah. Well, I met this amazing man when I was actually teaching. So I came from Oklahoma, got my degree. Of course, it was just a part of the process. I knew that I needed to go to school. That was going to be my ticket into a good job. So I got a degree at Oklahoma State University, marketing. And when I got to California, I had these big high hopes and dreams that I'd be working for a big company and doing ads and, TV, branding. And I just had this expectation that it was going to be so grand right after college. And I was sitting in a cubicle, and as I was learning, but I was kind of not happy, and I wasn't pushing the envelope, and it wasn't what I thought. And I was looking at my clock at 12 o'clock in the afternoon going, is it 5 o'clock yet? Like, am I done? Because I really don't feel like I have a purpose here. I don't feel like I'm really contributing. And so what do you do when you are young and 20 and you want to move up the ladder? You look for a new job, because I didn't think it was going to happen there. So I got another job, and it was the same thing. And I was like, there's got to be a better way. And I met a gentleman, he was a teacher, and I said, you've got the best life. You get to have your summers off. You get to have an impact. I'm going to go back to school, and I'm going to be a teacher. So that's what I did. I went back to school. I got a teaching education, and I got a job, and I thought I'd be teaching K through 8. But when I submitted my application, I got a high school job, and they said, can you teach geometry and algebra 1? Oh yeah, and physical science and health. And I was like, oh my God. I took geometry and I took algebra 1. Absolutely. I can do it. And it was probably one of the best training grounds for business I ever, out of all my, I can't say out of all of them, because working with you, Adam, you helped me the most, I think, in terms of business. But in terms of public speaking, and if you can capture a 14-year-old's attention for 8 hours a day, man, it was quite the journey, and I loved it, and I got better each year. And then I met this incredible man, and he swept me off my feet, and I jumped on my way to Los Angeles and dove into the world of finance, which I never thought I would do. And I mean, I would love for you to share a little bit of your journey and how we kind of melded our roles together, because I'm operational and I love things to be in a process, and I like organization, and you're the salesman that can, light the room and really make things happen, and taught me a lot about language and how does this work. It's not just a system. Don't just check the boxes as I love to do. And yes, coming in, the challenges I think are some of those. And maybe you saw more challenges that I faced than even myself. But
Yeah, and that's right. This is actually a really good segue to the challenges, right? One of the things that you and I talk about is it's better progression versus perfection, right? Maybe when we're young, we want to be perfect and we want to be the best and we want to do everything, but that has consequences, right? It has things that maybe imposes some limitations because it's perfect in the eyes of whom, as opposed to what I believe in and what are the things that you and I talk about is how do we look at the things that we ourselves don't want to look at? How do we uncover all of those, yuckiness and ugliness and imperfection and not look good in the effort of getting progression and being better than where we were just a minute ago or a day ago or a week ago.
right.
And those accumulation of those actions, we talk about a critical mass, and that critical mass really uplifts you in practicality, not just in theory, because we know how it should be done, but
Right.
those small actions becomes a big result, right? You and I talk a lot about results. And you have run a marathon, you have wrote a book, you and I have done those things. I was a national champion, Mr. California, Iron Gladiator California, and I wrote an Amazon bestseller book as well about personal finance. And when people look at your childhood, my childhood, your health challenges, my health challenges, they're gonna say that is crazy. That's you can't do that. And that's exactly where we challenge the status quo and the mindset, and we look at where the ugly or the unpleasant internal conversations that we have, and then we get to challenge it, because from the challenges comes the upliftment, right? The mindset where it shifts, right? You have a show that's called Shifters. The transformation become not when we avoid looking at the ugly, but when we do make a pointed effort to look at the ugly, and when we do not reject the feedback and what other people telling us that is not pleasant to hear, right? So you and I talk about, right? I ask you to allow feedback to come in, especially when it's not good. Why? Can you share why? I share that with you.
Why is it good to get the feedback?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can really see that what you think of yourself sometimes is not what you're actually doing or being. These are, I've learned some huge life lessons through the challenges. I feel like I've probably faced every single challenge a business owner could possibly think about. from confidence to, you know, doing what feels like 1,000 things all at once, and things are happening, but it feels like the longest road ever. As Adam likes to say, it's like dragging a rake through through on the asphalt, and I definitely had a rake, probably about 10 of them I was dragging. And that really the only thing that counts is what happens, is the results. And being one that of wanting to have this, you know, I'm doing all this stuff, I really had a struggle with just it being results, and nothing else really mattered till the end. But the feedback, and going back to the feedback, I don't think I would have saw some of the things that were happening. I was getting messages from all different angles, from what was being said, from what was happening in my business, from just random stuff in life, and these messages. And I started becoming more aware of what were these messages meaning. Like the fear, I got confronted full time with the fear factor of like, you are stealing from yourself if you're not doing all the things that you were given. You're giving gifts. I was giving gifts. Adam, you were giving gifts. Each person watching the show, you were giving gifts. And if you're not actually doing something, this message was so clear. You're stealing from yourself. It's like you're stealing from yourself. And why aren't you giving this back to the world? Even if you're afraid to do it. We're all a little bit afraid at the beginning, but it's just getting it out there and then saying, okay, it's there. Now, what is the purpose? It was supposed to help somebody. So my hope is that what we do, you and I together, that we get to help people move their business forward, and I can connect with you. Whatever you're going through, I probably faced it in some way, shape, or form, and we can move and uplift and shift and do all this great stuff.
Yeah. You know, even when I think about our relationship, right? We've been around for a while, and we've been together for over 10 years now, right? Each brings our own perspectives into the relationships, our own life experiences, our own culture, right? I grew up in a different country. And so, and people look at us, they see, you know, a nice couple, you know, a good looking couple, you know, we look like we have everything together, and they don't realize, and it's important for us to have this conversations, because again, it's not about perfect, it's about making things work and progressing and growing in relationships, right? And so, you know, share a little bit about how we challenge each other, right? We talked about feedback, the feedback that we give one another. And then I also want you to share one of the things that you told me maybe a couple of years ago about running away versus dealing with a situation courageously, right? You said the easiest thing is to run away, right? So talk about those few things.
Yeah. I'll start with that one, since that one is where we left off. But I just had to look back at like what has been life experience, and what I kept seeing was in any tough situation in my own life, I would run. If it was tough, if it was hard, I would just be like, I'm out. I mean, it seemed like I was living life with my tennis shoes next to me, and at that time I was a runner, so this really made sense to me. and it just like when we were talking, and I know you were having a little bit of a struggle with stuff, and me too, and I was like, okay, I got a choice. I can put the shoes on and I can run again, and what am I going to leave behind? I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be not fulfilled that I made a commitment and you made a commitment. And I think as those listening, there's a commitment out there you make to something or somebody. And I was like, it's going to be easier to run, but what is it going to be like to take those baby steps forward? And it means a lot that you remember that. And it probably wasn't even me saying it at the time, but I was just the message came. And I think in our relationship, I know we always laugh that that our relationship is like a big pie, and you know, so much of it is great. And of course, when we look back, we have the choice to remember. What do we want to remember? And I always like that we've got this one little sliver. We call it the sliver. And this one sliver is extremely annoying, everything you don't like. And it's like, you know, it's like that one piece, and we can say to each other, you're in the sliver, and we can laugh about it. You're in the sliver. And it's how to make the most. I mean, we definitely, it looks perfect, but it works. I think you can agree with me, Adam, and those out there that have relationships, that it is work. It's not easy to have a marriage and success. And most of the time, what do people, we always ask those that have been married many, many years, and what do they say?
Right.
What are some of the things they say to us that when we ask?
Yeah.
Communication is
Yeah.
key. What else? You probably remember better than I.
Yeah, not going to sleep mad at each other, working things out, not holding things in, not sweating the small stuff, right? What actually matters and is going to be fruitful and constructive to the relationship. You know, it all sounds good when we hear it, but when the situation arises, with there's frictions and there's discomfort, right? The whole point is to apply it as quickly as possible, right? Because and I think you and I, right, we talk about ego, right? What those things are, where are those things coming from? Like, do we want to be right? Do we want to look good? Are we trying to save face? Is this resistance and things that we, you know, kind of butt heads sometimes? Is it coming from ego, or is it coming before we want to come because we want to come together and we want to bring alignment and peace in a home and, you know, continue to build the relationship? What's amazing to me is that, you know, we always have a choice, right? We have a choice, really three choices, maybe more, but what I can come up with right now is three, right? We can regress, meaning like we can let the situation take hold, and we can want to be right about the situation, and then that doesn't solve anything and doesn't bring alignment and togetherness, right? We can just like be indifferent, which is really supportive of the regression, or we can choose progression and things that are going to come together. You know, for example, like what would happen if, you know, maybe I don't feel comfortable about something, but it's not such a material fact for the growth of the relationship, that I'm okay with my ego being neutral, meaning like I don't need to be right about that situation, because it's not going to change my life or your life if you're right in that situation, right? So those are the things that in my eyes, right, we have choices on. And I try to really look for, you know, when we think we only have one or two options, is like I'm trying to look for the third door or the window that brings another option and another possibility. And I think, you know, you're a very creative mind, Amanda, and you know, like every time that we talk or we, you know, and if we have a little bit of a challenge, you always find the words and the humility and the you know, the creativity. I think it's a creative thing to come and speak to, you know, to someone, whether it's me or anybody else, even when we're like, you know, where our feelings are like present, right? Meaning like we're not happy about something. And you
Yeah.
do that very, very well. And that's pretty extraordinary, you know, especially for a runner, right? You are making a choice to talk. And I try, this is something that I really learned from you, and I continue and will continue to learn, because that's a really incredible trait. So share with us, what are the possibilities that you want to create for yourself, whether it's relationship, business wise, financially, family, right? Tell us a little bit about what impact you want to create in the world.
Yeah. I think I like to start with the overall impact, and then I'll work into kind of the smaller stuff. I'll go from the 30,000-foot view, as Adam likes to say, to the details that I love. From the 30,000-foot view, my big heart is that anything that I do, I want to bring more light to this world. Like, there's enough dark things happening. How can I do this through business? How can I do this through conversations? How can I help somebody solve a problem? Even if it be something simple, but that everything that I'm doing in life, I want it to help somebody. I want to leave them as, and I have to steal this from Adam, leave them better than I met them. And I just love that statement, because I think that's the heart behind this. Like, whatever I do, can I leave somebody better than I met them? And that's bringing light. That's bringing good things. That's, you know, even if it's in not a good situation, how can I still bring it better? In terms of like the smaller, not smaller because they're really big, like the next one is just an incredible relationship with you and building a family. Been blessed with family. I want our family to continue on, to have kids, and to share this journey with those little ones. And for the families out there, you know better than I, because we don't have kids yet, what it's like to have that. And I know that people always say that it's an incredible space to be in. You get to share, and I can't wait for that. And the next step would be business. I know what we can do together, you and I, Adam, and what we can do for businesses. And to be able to bring, if it be training or if it be how to grow or just to build your business, you're stuck, you don't know what to do, you're just like, I just need some help. Like, I want to be that go-to. I want to be the company that you think about. And if we can't help you, I want to send you to somebody that can. Like, we're here to just help move people forward. My podcast is called Shifters, Entrepreneurs on the Move. It's got that whole thing. It's like, how can we shift just a little bit or maybe a lot and help people move forward and uplift? The same thing. How can we raise the bar? Our last name being Bar, kind of the coin of the phrase of raise the bar, helping people raise the bar and take it to the next level. Obviously the goals are huge on that side. And why? So we can give back more. I think when we have the success that we were looking for, then we can, you know, I always had a thing with money, and I'll just share this real quick if that's okay. I thought that, you know, having a lot of money wasn't particularly a good thing. You just want to have a good life and do things. But with more money, you're able to give more. You're able to give more of your time. You're able to give more money. You're able to give. And the more I can, the bigger the vessel, the more that it can fill. That means the more I can give and the more we can give together. So that's kind of like my big.
Yeah. You know, remember the shirt, we have a shirt. Money cannot buy you happiness, but it can definitely, it can buy you a Lamborghini, and that's pretty much the same thing. But I like Reagan's, President Reagan, former President Reagan, saying, where he says, money cannot buy you happiness, but it can certainly buy you a better class of memories. But I think we can take it even a step further and say that maybe money cannot buy you happiness, but it can certainly help you bring possibilities for yourself, your family, and the community around you. And the bigger the currency that this world used that you were able to attain, the more impact you can create, right? Whether we like it or not, the world operates, and individuals chase this dream of having money, and they see that as a success, token of success, right? So I think more than just money, but being able to teach people and empower people and inspire them and uplift them from wherever they are, right? Whether they're starting out or in the middle of the road, or maybe they stuck in a situation where they cannot see a way out. And any of those things, right? Moving them towards a better financial future, a better relationship, a better perspective on life, happiness, joy, positivity, right? But not positivity in a fake sense, in positivity in like really like to discover, even though when things are tough, what's behind it, and having gratitude for the process, which makes us appreciate things even more. Mm-hmm. So it was such an honor to have you to start with my first episode with you. I do want to give you a minute to kind of share what are you up to next, and then maybe give an uplifting message or inspirational message and whatever you want to promote to the people that are out there, right? That, you know, maybe some of us have everything working really well, but maybe we struggle in different areas. For those kids and young adults and adults that maybe, you know, now with everything that is happening, the chaos, the, you know, maybe financial situation, business scenarios, or relationship challenges, what do you want to share with them? What do you want to tell them to help them uplift and make a contribution for themselves and others?
Yeah. I'll start with the message. So for all of you out there that are experiencing any type of fear, doubt, you might be in a situation you don't feel like there's a way out. I just want to give you like the inspiration, the motivation, and really like the heart that you can create whatever you want. That impossible really means I'm possible. Thank you, Mr. Barr. Means I'm possible. And that means that you can really do whatever you want. It may seem like the road is long, but you don't know the next person you're going to meet. It's like the 3 feet from gold. You might feel like you're digging and it's not going to end, but that you keep putting those feet forward, you keep doing the actions, you keep putting things in place. If you have a dream and a goal and you want to get there, I always looked at people in my life that did stuff, and what I always saw was like, they're there and I'm here, but what got them there? They just did it. They just did it. So people that have YouTube channels, they just got in front of the camera and shot a lot of videos. Like, what is holding you back? What is doing that? So my pitch is if we can help you, if I can help you, I help businesses start from scratch. Like, you got an idea and you don't really know how to form that idea, let's work together. I am an idea like fanatic. I will come up with, we could come up with a lot of different things, but really what's going to work? Who's your clientele? How to fit this idea into something that will make you money, that will give you purpose, and that will make a difference in the world. This is what I want to do. And if you already launched your company and you're like, it's just not moving, nothing's happening. I feel like I'm spinning my wheels and mud's flying and I'm just hearing a bunch of dirt. Okay, great. Well, let's get you moving forward. Maybe there's just a few kinks in the road. And for those of you that own a business and you're like, I'm not a salesperson. This is not what I was meant to do. I just want to help people. I don't want to have to try to close business and do this. Well, I've got a program for you called Become a Sales Ninja in 3 weeks or less. Why? Because I struggled with it too. And I wanted to give people a system you could follow. And in all those pieces that you would have the golden nugget you need, so you feel really confident in the value that you bring. I posted something today, and Adam's helped me so much in this world. And it's really like, if you trust in the value that you bring, the more you will trust yourself and the more somebody else will trust you. So I kind of got to this epiphany today. It's like, we do a lot of things. We help people build websites. We help them do their social media. We can help them launch with sales, training, you name it. I want to help you. But what we really bring is confidence. So if you're confident about your website, if you're confident about your business, if you're confident about these things, you're going to share it with the world. Why? Because you want everybody to know, because it's the best thing since sliced bread. But if you are not confident in yourself or in what you're doing or in what it looks like, you're probably not going to talk about it. So I want to get you a point where you are just so excited to share that you can't even, you're like busting at the seams to let the world know what you're able to do. And that's what we're doing. And what's the next step? Well, we've got the sales training program, and I don't want to stop there. I'm a teacher at heart. and I want to help people. I want to give them the programs, how to run a podcast, how to be a guest on a podcast, how to run a YouTube channel, how to do, these courses are coming, they're inside of me. How to leadership, management. Adam's a leading pro. This guy has led teams of 40 plus, and just like, how can we bring our skills together for you and not hold it back? Why? So you can take your business and your life to the next level, and we can cheer you on the whole entire way. I'm so excited. Like, that's the next level, is how can we bring this, all the different pieces, so you have everything you need to shine.
Yeah, as you were talking and share those beautiful things, I got a visual in my mind that, imagine we have a coin that the tail is kind of strapped into our back, and we kind of walk and look ahead, and we're trying to look for the heads, right? If you could couple the heads with positive and the tail with negative, let's just give that analogy for a second, right? And we kind of look and we go for a journey, and where is the good, where is the positive, where is the great, where is the heads? And all we got to do is just flip that coin into the other side. So what's beautiful about this process is that having bad things happening is the one side of the coin that certainly has something in the back of it that could be a new possibility and a new positive discovery for us. It's just on the other side. Now, we get a choice. We get a choice to say that the end of the journey is that the negative that is on our back, and that's our reality. Or we get a choice to look and explore what's behind that negative. What lessons does it bring to us? And what are we going to make out of it, right? What narrative are we going to create? Are we going to create the winner narrative and say, yeah, that was one of the challenge, because it's not the final destination, that negative that happened to me, even though if it's in the past and I cannot change it, but I can definitely change my relationship with that negative stuff. I can change the same relationship that negative is on my back, like the coin. I can flip it, and now the positive is on my back. And so this is something that is, it's more, as we go through more and more challenges, right? I get to discover more and more clarity on how the bad and the challenges and the imperfection and the signs in the road are the wake-up calls, right? Are the biggest gift that we get to have, because otherwise, how would we discover it, right? Do we get lucky? Do we just wait to get lucky? Do we, just say we're a victim to the environment and we have no say? We can't shape that new dialogue and new narrative? Or do we say, okay, I acknowledge this, maybe it's not the best thing that could happen, so how now do I make something good out of it? And those are the things that we have control of, is the choices that we make and how to relate to what just happened. And, better yet, how to make things happen and create more choices and more good steps towards the progress that we want to create in the future. So with that, I think this was a very uplifting episode today. This is a real special treat for me to have an honest dialogue like that with you in front of everybody. Yeah. Right? And thank you for being like so awesome and so incredible and so honest. And I know this will inspire people out there. And so I look forward to spend many more years together with you and create an amazing family of productive, good doing people in the world. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Such an honor.
Thank you. All right, everyone.